5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's the new Panic Room. It's the show other shows want to be, and the show that authors want to be on.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, oh, what a thrill. Goodness, your records are quitting balls of fire. I let you love all I thought it was funny. You came along and you moved, now honey, I changed my mind, looking fine. Goodness gracious, it's quitting balls of fire. You kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. Girl, just let me love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I'm gonna tell this world that you're mine. Balls of fire. Sure, you're fine, so kind. I got to tell this world that you're mine. I treat my nails and I flip on the farm. I'm real nervous because the show is fun. Come on, baby, drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, quick balls of fire.
The all-new Panic Room radio show is brought to you by hellboundbooks.com.
Well, good evening, and yes, we are back after technical difficulties last week. No one knows what happened there, and the good people at the blog talk haven't bothered to get back to me yet. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe it could have been Baby Jesus, perhaps offended him somehow. No idea how I could have possibly done that. Hey ho. And it is, if you just tuned in to the new Panic Room, just to stick it, we had a lady a while ago doing, for a completely different show, and she was awesome. I was hoping she would be a regular feature, a confused woman, but she obviously got that confused. She's never called back again. It is the new Panic Room, and it's episode 147. Well, I don't know if we're including last week as 146, or that was just abandoned completely. I don't know, but there is someone who will be able to shed light on that, and I think we should bring her on.
Come on, I'm with you.
Xtina, how are you, my dear?
I am good. I missed the show so much last week. I don't think I even realized how much I look forward to it until,
I know,
we had our
I know. It was, I still don't know what happened, to be honest. It all just went horribly wrong, but we's back. We's back loud and proud. So, I'm excited. It's funny if actually, inspired as maybe because I missed the tune, your tune, your intro. I actually sat and watched Deliverance a few evenings ago. I actually have a copy of it. I haven't watched it for a long time. And do you know, it holds up. It holds. It's a fantastic film. You know, you know, you see it a lot. I mean, it was like 1969, I believe. But you see it all these, you know, backwards, you know, killer, you know. I'm trying to avoid saying retard because apparently it upsets people, so I'm not going to say that. You know, you see for like the Hills of Eyes and Wrong Turn and blah blah blah. I mean, you know, they're all even the Rob Zombie films, you know. And it's the elements of that. It wasn't overly gruesome, and it wasn't just played for the slashing and the kills and all the rest of it. But it incredibly well done. You know, the tension was there. The dynamic between the four guys, and I'd forgotten what a good actor was, to be honest. You know, he was phenomenal. But yes. Anybody wanting to see? Wanted to see have a jolly good evening in with a movie. What Deliverance? Which
I've never
contrasts.
seen it. I have not seen it before.
You really ought to see it. You should see it. It's a great film. You'll find it floating around out there somewhere. Like, I'm tired now. I'm ready for my nap. So it's good night from me. It's time to say goodnight.
No. I was going to say, I have my daughter up visiting for a couple of days, and she had not seen Chernobyl. And I know we'd already seen it before, but we ended up watched it over again with her, and it's grim. It really is, but it's so like I don't know. I'm so engrossed in it when I'm watching it. I'm just like. Yeah. And even the second time around, it still gets me the same as the
that's the mark of the show, yeah. But I thought, I think it's come out as, I think HBO's, is it HBO? Sort of biggest show, if the biggest show ever. But incredibly well. And I've seen people moaning online about, why did they have to have British accents? Focus, you wouldn't fucking understand it, so shut up.
Thank you.
Seriously.
You know what I've been seeing today?
And there's nothing worse than them all if they were all trying to put on Russian accent, because everybody said, they were obviously faking the Russian accent. Well, I think it was incredibly well done. It was incredibly well done. I've read a few articles since that they did, with the truth a little bit for dramatization, as happens with such things. A lot of it was very much spot on to what happened. And it was so close to really a bigger global disaster. I mean, it could had it to water table, it would have rendered, I think it's like 50 million people homeless. And, whole states, hundreds of thousands of square miles uninhabitable for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's how dire it was. You imagine, displacing 50 million people just like that, in a matter of a couple of weeks. It's just like terrible. And there are nuclear power stations everywhere. So it's just like,
that is scary. That really is. Yeah. You know what I've been seeing? We were talking about the fact that we're both watching. I think you finished it now. Good Omens. Right. I've seen online today. I've seen online today all over that I guess people are petitioning to. Did you see that?
No, it's not people. It's
Christians.
the Christians.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Christians have petition. They're put a petition together to Netflix to pull the show. The punchline here is it's on Amazon Prime, not Netflix.
Yeah,
so they just in one fell swoop made themselves look absolutely more stupid. As if to be fair, as if believing in a big invisible guy up in the clouds isn't stupid. And again, I apologise to any Christians out there who are listening, but everyone is entitled to my opinion, I believe. Just the same as the people who knock on my door when I'm trying to work, think that really want to hear in the middle of a work day, in the middle of writing something I don't write, I don't get paid. I want to hear about Jesus. Well, news. No, I don't. To be honest, no, I do not. But that was funny. But to be fair, Good Omens collaboration Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. I read
it is fun. No, it's got David Tennant and Michael Sheen in it, and the list of British actors in it is fantastic. It's got Brian Cox in it, for God's sake. And it took me a while to figure out who he was, and because he's deaf and he's behind the mask, so you don't actually see his face. But the cast is just fantastic. Absolutely, great show.
I'm enjoying it. I really am. I mean, when I heard about the show coming out, I was excited because I had read the book and I thought it was great. So I couldn't wait. And I think I'm maybe 2-3 episodes in, and I'm really liking it. I really am. I think it's great. I'm hoping that it is. Yeah, it is
incredibly well done. Well. And the other one to watch out, you just started, is Nosferatu, or NOS, which is from the Joe Hill novel, which is a terrific novel, I have to say. I just finished episode 2, and they are sticking pretty close to the book, actually, and it's good. Zachary Quinto is fantastic in it, obviously. It's great. It's funny because usually this time of year they just put all the shite on. It's where they dump all the stuff. Oh, nobody's going to watch that. No. And of course, on July the 4th, we have season 3 of Stranger Things. That is starting. A new season of Baskets started on, I think that's on Fox or on FX or CBS or something, which is great. It is Zach Galifianakis. And it's like tragic comedy, but it is, again, watch it. It is so incredibly well written, so incredibly well done. The pathos that runs through. And he plays 2 characters, twin brothers. And the lady, I can't remember her name, the lady, Laurie Anderson, who plays the mum, is fantastic. Yeah, a very good cast and great writing. So there you go. A tip for summer television, everyone.
I'm I'm excited for what show is that? The Handmaid's Tale. I mean, it's season 3 now is going on. I think we're 3 episodes.
I started that. I'm about halfway through episode 1, and it seems a lot more of the same to me.
Really?
It seems more of the same. She's back where she started, and it just seems like a little bit.
It's fun because the boyfriend watching it, just made him so mad that the part she didn't escape or what if she didn't go, and being a mom, I get why she didn't. So he was that really irked him, and I'm gonna say it didn't me so much because like being a mom, realizing that her other daughter is still there.
Yeah.
I would have had to stay too. So I get that, and I'm kind of anxious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it was a difficult choice, but I was the one that she did allow to go. She knows that we'll be safe and have a better life, and I guess her plan is to get her other daughter and go catch up with them. But I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to certainly stick with it through the next episode or 2 and see what happens. But it better buck up. Seriously, because if it's just more of the same, I'm just going to get bored. And anybody who listens to the show knows knows just how quickly I get bored, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, to build on this conversation now. So, I'll tell you what, we've got a mystery caller. I'm gonna bring him on because I've a feeling I know who it is. Here we go. Hello, mystery caller. Hello. It could be confused, which would be fantastic. Hello, is this the Panic Show? Is it the Panic Show? It says the Panic Show. Hello? Hello? So, no, mystery caller's gone, blown it. Okay. So, Xtina, say attention span of a small house, like. What have we got to show this evening?
I'm very excited. We have on our show returning guest, romance author J.D. Hollyfield. And we have contemporary romance author Kathleen Kelly.
Oh, so it's a proper X chromosome fest this evening, which is great for me because I just get to sit back and listen to the gossip. Brilliant. I do enjoy that. I do like that. It's great. Easy. I literally just sit and press the buttons. It's easy for me.
Sometimes, yeah, definitely. Thanks, by the way. Now I have to work extra hard. Thanks.
Well, no, you have to work. You have to stay awake and do something, which is double bubble for you, isn't it? It's like, oh my goodness! I bet you know Thursday night I'm going to have to do stuff, you know.
Exactly.
Oh, I tell you, I think we should. I think we should. Oh, everybody's dialing in now. I think we should bring on our first guest, don't you think?
I mean,
it's up to you. If you really don't want to, just say so.
Our first guest is, she's returning. She's been here before, so I'm excited. Romance author J.D. Hollyfield. Woo!
Hello.
Hi, you. Hey, you two. How's it going?
Hey, it's pretty good. Is it J? Do we call you JD or J or J?
You can call me JD. So JD, you guys are killing me. I'm sitting around mute. You guys are talking about Chernobyl. My husband is watching it, and I'm like, "What is going on in this show?"
Oh, it is. It's some of the best TV that's been on in a long, long time. I have to say.
Oh, he's loving it.
Good. I'm sure. Yeah. What's not? I mean,
and I'm catching spots of it, and so I'm very confused because I'm not seeing the full version of it. And I know that you made that comment about the British actors. I mean, I was a fan. Did you guys ever see The Bodyguard that was on Netflix?
No, I did not.
No. Oh, watch it. So it's another British series. So good. But yeah, I'm trying to find the love for Chernobyl. I'm struggling a little bit.
Oh, stick with it. Stick with it. I think it's one that you have to sit, from the beginning and just stay with it because it is very light on laughs, I have to say, but it's tremendously well done. So stick with it.
Right.
That's what I say.
I will.
Me, just knowing that it was real, and because I don't really remember too much. I think I think we worked it out. I was like 12 or so, and I remember hearing about it, but not really sure, or exactly the how bad it was or whatever. And knowing now and all that, I'm just I don't even know how to express it. I mean, I watch and James, you've seen it before. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but the episode I watched last night was the one with the animals. That one.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, just knowing that these things actually happen. This is not fiction. This is not something a horror movie that they made up. Which I have to say, the horror movie Chernobyl Diaries. Did you see that?
No, that was terrible. It was terrible. It was horrible.
I did.
Well, it was done by the same, and I can't remember the name. The one they did before it, and I can't remember what it's called now. It was tremendous. They did it was, and that's why I watched Chernobyl Diaries, and it was just terrible. It started off reasonably well, and it just all went stupid.
Yeah.
I wish I could. I'm gonna look it up and see what else they did, because the one they did before that, I would highly recommend it. You keep talking. I'm going to look it up. Talk amongst yourselves. No, I would.
Have you seen the Chernobyl Diaries, Jessica, or did you like horror movies?
I have not. I have not. I should mark this down.
James says it's not that good. So, no, I thought it was okay. But to me, just the whole concept of Chernobyl itself was the selling point for me. So, I mean, it's like, the horror part that they put on afterwards, I was like, whatever. And I'm I think, shocked that they have not used this idea far more than they have. I mean, to be honest, because, I mean, just the idea, you could do anything in that. I don't know. I would love to take a trip there. I mean, I really would be too scared to actually, go in there. But I mean, just it'd be pretty cool. So, and kind of scary. But yeah, you definitely have to keep watching, because I think you will really
cool.
enjoy it.
I definitely will. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to say, we missed last week, and that was. And thank you for agreeing to come back. I know.
Yeah.
It's like it is. This is episode 147, and out of that many episodes, we've never had that.
Congrats.
I know. It's crazy. I can't believe that we've done this many times. So,
you think by now we would know better, to be honest with you. So I'm just reading the. I haven't found the other film, but on IMDb, which sums it up for Chernobyl Diaries, a deplorable horror film, it calls it, which is so don't watch that. Don't watch that, and find out. Oren Pelly was involved in writing it as well. So again, he wrote the screenplay. Oren, I'm ashamed of you, and I know he listens to the show. I just don't do that again. Don't.
Oh my goodness.
JD is here to talk to us about her book, Pride from the 750s. Is it romance? Is it steamy romance? Is it, because we do like a bit of steam, don't we?
Oh, for sure. So it is a 7-book series. It is considered romance. It's taken place in a college in St. Augustine, New Orleans, and it is 7 different authors. My book is book 2 of the series, and it has a lot of darkness to it. It's definitely romance. There are definitely books in the series that have some trigger warnings to them. Some are a little bit lighter, some a little bit darker. Just all depends on what kind of romance that you read. Mine's a little bit in between. It's got that dark factor, it's got that romance factor, and it definitely has a suspense factor in it.
Wow.
I'm just looking at the title. Yeah, Pride. Yeah, it's like the 7 deadly sins, right? Is that what the thing
Correct.
is? Yeah. Awesome. How cool is
that? Oh, I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah. So the series is based around the 7 deadly sins. So it's a secret society, and there's 7 characters, and each character is given a sin. So the actual series starts off on lust. My book is Pride, and then it goes wrath, envy, gluttony, sloth, and greed. So everybody, you get to learn about the naughtiness of every single sin. And at the end of the book, so they're collaborated together. So you really want to start with book 1, read book 7 to see how everything pans out in the end. So it starts and it ends with book 1 and book 7.
Now, did you know what sin you were going to get before you started, or before you knew about? I don't know how I'm asking this question, but I think you get what
I get it. So I was asked to be Pride. I wasn't when I was brought on to the project. They asked if I can do Pride. Would I would have picked that? I probably would have thought in my head, I want to pick something easier, because Pride is the alpha of all sins, right? So I'm like, I'm going to do this book, but in the end, it ended up panning out really well. Being book 2, there was a little bit less collaborating because I didn't have to read 6 books before me to wrap up my story, but it worked out. It worked out good. I was able to, throw a lot of plot twists in there, and add the romance factor and keep the readers hanging on to book 3 and on.
Now, they are all full-length novels. They're not just short stories or novellas or anything. They're full-length, are they,
Correct.
all of them?
Yeah. The project everybody has, there's a solid length to every story, so you get what you pay for, which is always a thumbs up, right?
That is really cool. Now, who came up with this idea? I love this. This is awesome.
So, international writer Keir Dukie is the one who collaborated this project. She decided, she came up with this great idea, and she reached out to any author that she thought, hey, this person would make a great addition to Lust, to Pride, to Slaw. And she brought 7 authors together, and everybody just sat for a few weeks and collaborated on the storylines. And, when you have a big project like this, everybody has to intertwine. So with, something that happens in Lust, the answers might not prevail until book 3. And book 7 finally answers a ton of questions that you read in book 4. So it took a lot of collaborating and a lot of going back and forth and saying, actually, you know what, I changed a simple plot of my story. So book 7 has to change, book 6 has to change, book 1 has to tweak something.
Wow.
So it was definitely a journey to get them done, but in the end, it just was amazing. It turned out just really great. The readers were really satisfied, and that's basically what our end goal was.
That sounds really cool. And I've been trying to get her on the show. She says it's the middle of the night for her, and I'm thinking, that's no excuse. Come on, anyway.
No, it's not. She's a crazy time person. She's up all hours of the night, so you just need to keep pushing her.
I am. I sure am now. And I'm going to tell JD said.
You tell her. No excuses.
I know. So the tagline for Pride is, it's time to pay for your sins. Do you have an excerpt for us?
I do.
Yay!
So while I pull this up, do you guys rate everybody that reads their books online on the radio?
Yes, we do.
Xtina was the author's sounding.
Xtina is very judgmental, I'm afraid. She will judge you. So you have been warned, JD. It will happen.
The pressure is on.
Yes,
all right. Well, I'm still fighting a stuffy nose, so I hope this sounds sexy and not stuffy, okay?
Okay, go for it.
Okay. So just a little bit, this scene starts with Mason. He's going into the counselor's building to meet his counselor, who is technically the villain in the entire series, and her name is Lillian. And with Mason, he is forced on to the elite. He's given this task because Lillian is holding something above him. So this is kind of gives you a little insight of this excerpt. Okay. It's now or never. Well, don't you make a handsome college student, she purrs, closing the door and walking in front of me. Her clothes, as always, are form-fitting, her hair pulled back in a tight ponytail. She looks back to inspect me, and it turns my stomach. Deleting the space that separates us, she brings her hands to my shirt and brushes them down the chest with open arms. Still working out, I see, and I'm loving the new additions, she says, inspecting my arms. Not caring if I'd snap her wrists, I grab for her hands and remove her from my skin. Oh, he's so feisty. You should learn to enjoy us, because if I want something from you, something as simple as your cock, Mason, I'll get it. Understood? She doesn't wait for my response. Pushing me away from me, she heads to her desk, sits, and digs into her drawer. Oh, don't look so grouchy. You're about to get an opportunity of a lifetime. Now sit. Doing as she says, I throw myself into the seat across from her. I want to see my sister, I bark. And you will. Business first, pleasure later. Shuffling through her desk drawer, she retrieves a manila envelope. Here we are. Mason, are you familiar with the 7 deadly sins? I take some time to understand her question. Like the church shit, evil versus good? So smart, my little pet, she laughs, and my skin pebbles with disgust. The 7 deadly sins lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride, sins that live inside us all. The excessive desire to want more, the desired evil that's rooted in us all. Every single human being in this world fights the urge to indulge in what God considered a sin, to lie, to steal, to deface. Given the chance, anyone would shame another just to rise above, strip one of their innocence, harm someone just to boast that they have power to do so. She's staring at me. She's starting to confuse me. What the fuck are you going on with this? Patience. Way before your time and mine, elite society was formed. The Elite Seven. It was created by guided, influential leaders, one who would go on and flourish in molding our country into something magnificent. Every 4 years, 7 new members are hand-chosen for the elite, but they aren't just hand-picked. They're put to the test, given a task of sin to prove themselves. Once proven, they're initiated for life. They want for nothing, suffer for nothing. Sins become them, and they become the being of their life. And what does this have to do with me, I ask, uncertain I want to know the answer. To be part of the elite, of course, the leader, the alpha of the 7. Yeah, well, I want nothing to do with ruining someone's life. Oh, but that's not for you to decide anymore, is it? You gave that right to me the second you agreed to my terms. You will do as I say, or the liveliness of your sister will suffer. The power she has over me kills me. She tosses a sheet of paper at me and I catch it. I vaguely glimpse at the other names and titles until I get to mine. Pride? Of course. Don't you find your sin fitting? You have no regard for others. You'll lead an army, 6 to be exact, and single-handedly assign each sinner a task. You will, with no care for the people they hurt, deface, suffer, make sure each task is completed, or they'll be banished from the society. Lives mean nothing to you. But they do. I'm not a monster. Aren't you, though? Agreeing to bow down to the devil herself and do her bidding? What does that truly make you, Mason? The devil, the father of all sins. That's all you guys got.
What? No, you got to keep going.
I was enjoying that. Even though you did say a naughty word, that did not go unnoticed. You slipped that in, didn't you? You see, now everything's going to sound like a double entendre, isn't it? This is the problem when we have steamy stuff on. And you read it. Your post-flu, post-cold voice is perfect for that kind of stuff. You sounded fantastic. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say that she read it better than I could have, even being, sick.
To be fair, Xtina, I think one of my dogs could have read it better than you could, to be honest.
Thanks. But when she was talking about, having, the cold and phlegm, all I can think of is Phoebe from Friends when she was, trying to get sick because she had her sexy phlegm. So
exactly, yeah. There you go. So, JD, I mean, where do you get your inspiration for such things?
I was wondering if she had disappeared. I didn't hear anything.
She gone? She thought, well, I've finished my reading. I'm going to go now.
There she is.
Oh, have we?
It's such an
Are we boring you or something? You just thought, get it with these people now.
No. Especially when I'm writing. When it came to Pride, it was a lot of research. Being book 2, it took me a lot of figuring out what everybody else was writing, because being so in the beginning of a huge 7-book series, you needed to set the groundwork. You had book 1, and then book 2 is just really continuing on with that. So you had to make sure that you were really setting the stepping stones for book 3, book 4, and you wanted to leave, the mystery in it. And you wanted to make sure you're leaving these little plots open for something like book 5 to say, you know what, I'm going to take that, and that's going to happen in book 5. In Pride, there's a lot of stuff that actually ends up panning out in book 6 and book 7, and so, when you write this stuff, you have to kind of think that further in mind, and you have to work with these other authors and say, listen, are you cool with this? Can you fit this into your plot line? So, you have the author of book 6 saying, okay, well, this is my plot line. How am I going to fit that storyline in that? So, you tell the story in your head over and over and over and over again until finally, like, it just starts piecing together. When then all of a sudden your hand just hit that computer and you just go at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't even imagine what kind of preparation and work would go into something, a project like that. I mean, I have a hard enough time mapping out a chapter, so I can imagine that's amazing. I get another. Go ahead.
Oh no, it really does take a good group of girls and good group of authors to sit down and be, I keep wanting to use the word open-minded, but you have to be willing and able to mend your storyline and your ideas with others for it to work, because otherwise you just kind of hit a wall. And, the story is ever changing, because when you start with book one, all 7 of you have this great idea, but as the ideas start hitting the paper, sometimes you kind of switch directions a little bit and you say, oh man, the words really took me in this direction. Are you okay with this? Can you go this route with your storyline? And so it was literally like one book after another, where like book 5 really had to wait to really finish their book until book 4 was done, because there was a little like detours along the way. So it was a project, and it took a lot of effort, but the end was worth it.
I think it's always a great point when you write it takes life and it sort of looks organically, and it like you say, suddenly you can be off in a direction that you had no idea this was going to happen. And it's great just to go with it. I find, as I've said this before, you're probably about a third of the way through, a third of the way through, and you think about the characters. I wonder what so and so's doing, and I make them up. They take on a life all their own, which is a great
Absolutely.
moment. I always think a great moment in a writer's life. That.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to think of book 1, who has to introduce 7 characters. So in book 1, she really has, she's introducing them. She's kind of giving them their own kind of feel and their sense of expression. So, Karajuki wrote Lust. So she's book 1. And while she's writing all these characters, she's like, I really, she has to speak for 6 other voices. And who knows where that leads to? So everybody reads book 1 and they say, okay, well, this is in a sense of how I need to lead my character, because you need to keep it prominent to how they start. So I mean, having to be book 1 to like blossom like 7 different characters and then have them sprout into different voices. It's a challenge. And so, I mean, she did it beautifully. And I think that, if you ever sit down and read the whole series, you'll see that, they stay true to how they start. And you feel it in every book.
If you were approached again to do a project like this, would you jump right in? Would you be excited, or would you be like, wow, that was a lot of work?
Question 1, yes, and question 2, yes. So the answer, yes, I would do it. I mean, it's such a great opportunity, because for starters, it's a great opportunity to learn how other people write, how other people think, and you kind of learn off each other. And at the end, I took something away from other authors that wrote in this series, and I hope that some of the authors took something away from me. We worked together. I read other author stuff and I gave suggestions. Other authors gave suggestions to me. So it was really like the teamwork of it all was there, and you have to respect that. Was it hard? Sure. I mean, this is a 7-book series. This isn't like your normal like one release date. This is all yours. Like, you're committed to 7 other books. Imagine book 1 that releases, like, you're still releasing 2 months later if you think about it. So Kara, who like put her heart and soul into this, is like released book 1 in February, and it's still releasing at the end of May. That's a big gap. And this is, it's a long series. They did 2 weeks between books, and it's it takes dedication and time. Now, were there a little sweat and tears involved? Of course. But was the end overall worth it? Absolutely.
That's
that is a big commitment, to commit to that. I struggle to commit to one book, let alone a series. I could not even begin to contemplate a series. I mean, so a couple of my books, people say, you've got to do a sequel. I said, no. No, I've done with that. Yeah. Maybe it's my attention span problem. I've spent that long with those characters. I'm a little bit bored with them now. And, although Tenebria, my last novel is actually the first of what will become a series of 3, but each one is it's almost like, it's a standalone, but within that same world. You know what I mean? Not really a continuation. So I might be able to do that. I might be able to pull that one off. We shall see. So, JD,
after you finish a novel, do you go right into another one, or do you take some time off and read and try to unwind and get out of that world? Because I know that even just reading sometimes, especially if it's like a series or something, it takes a little while to kind of leave that world, to get out of that headspace.
Right. Well, so when you finally finish a book, are you talking about when you finish and send it to editing, or when you finish it and actually release it?
I'm gonna say, when you release it. Yeah, when you release it.
Okay. So, you get that release day high, and you're like, oh my God, this day has finally come. You feel on top of the world, and then the day ends. You're like, it's kind of like your birthday. You just kind of get one day, right? And then, like, the next day it's business as usual. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, so what are you working on now? What's your next book? What are you reading? So, when you're done doing all the sweat and tears in one book and you feel that pressure of it just being off your plate, all of a sudden 2 things happen. You do say, I'm going to take a break right now and I'm going to go ahead and read. What should I read? And then all of a sudden, while you're looking at books, you get that idea, and you're just like, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. And then you catch yourself writing again. So is there that break where writers just go ahead and put the feet up and they start reading all these books that they wanted? Possibly, but the bigger chances are that, like myself, you just throw yourself into another project.
Yeah. That's awesome, though, which leads me to my next question. What are you working on now?
So I am going back to my original roots for a little bit, and I'm working on some rom-coms. I originally started writing in romantic comedy. Some of the darker romances I've written lately, they've been quite successful, but I have a few unfinished projects that I'm going to release. I have a romantic comedy hopefully releasing sometime in July called Lake Redstone. And I started a project called Chicks Man. It's also a romantic comedy. So I'll finish those, I'll wrap those up, get those released, and hopefully by the beginning of next year I have 2 dark romances releasing.
Awesome. I've read, I don't think that, if I were to sit down and tell you, like, in my favorite genre to read, I don't think I would say the rom-coms, but I know that I've read a few that have just, I love them. They're so, they're so good. So do you have a favorite, like, a rom-com author?
Rom-com author. So I'm going to be honest with you. I write it. I don't necessarily read it. And that's really weird because I can sit here and throw out jokes and one-liners and write it, like, till I'm blue in the face. But once I'm done writing a romantic comedy, I go straight to reading something dark. I think it's just the way my mind works, where I'm done being, like, the fluffy and I need something, like, set. So,
right.
But to answer your question, I love a lot of Megan Quinn. I'm huge into Jay Daniels. I love Dorinda Jones, and her Charlie Davidson series is probably one of my favorites. I think those are, like, my top at this point. I
read years ago Fire Down Below by Deborah Anastasia, and
yeah,
cracked me up. I was hurting. I remember laying in bed one time, and I sat up to like get a drink. I had to take a sip, and I started choking because I was laughing so hard. I mean, it was just, and I think that was probably one of my first romantic comedies that I had ever read, but I thought it was great. I mean, there's a comedy, and it was just killer. There were times I would read it.
Yeah.
She's a trip. You know, there were times I would read something and think to myself, oh my God, she actually went there. I can't believe she went there. But I think that's what makes
I have yet to meet her in person, but she's definitely one of my unicorn authors.
Yeah, we've had her on the show a couple times. It's been like I think she's been on twice. But I'm trying to get her on again, but you know, it's hard to pin her down.
Cool.
You know. So.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So it's just about time for our first segment to wrap up. Well,
thanks for having me, guys.
I know. The next time we're gonna have longer excerpts and more of the bad words because we need more of those. And
we need more rudeness on those. Yes, we do.
Exactly.
I'll try. I'll throw some in, especially for you guys.
Yeah. Tell us where we can find you online, JD.
So I am on Instagram at author JD Hollyfield. Same Twitter handle. I'm on Facebook at, I think if you just do everything at author JD Hollyfield, you can find me, JD Hollyfield.
Awesome,
I'm there.
Awesome.
Come find me.
I'll get you links put up on our page. So if anybody wants to talk to you, they can go there and do that. And again, I thank you so much for being on the show. And I can't wait to talk to you. Have you come back.
Thank you. We know JD next time.
Yes.
Definitely. Thank you. You have a great rest of your evening.
Thanks, you too as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye. And we'll be right back. Okay, bye. We'll be right back after these messages.
Radio Show is sponsored by Hellbound Books, purveyors of all manner of dark fiction. You can find the publisher along with links to all their available works across platforms at hellboundbookspublishing.com. Hellbound Books is proud to be the first in the indie publishing business with a very own app on both Google Play and the App Store. In the mood for something steamy to read, check out new erotica author Jennifer Lynn's website at jenniferlynnerotica.com. You can find James at his website, www.jameslongmore.com, and Xtina has an author page found on the Hellbound website. Don't forget to follow the Panic Room Radio Show on social media. Our Facebook page, Unofficial The Panic Room Radio Show, Twitter at Panic Room Radio, our YouTube channel, The New Panic Room Radio Show, and come visit our website at www.panicroomradio.com.
Ride it all out like you were a bird. Fly it all out like an eagle in a sunbeam. Ride it all out like you were a bird. Wear a tall hat like the druid in the old days. Wear a tall hat and a tattooed gown. Ride a white swan like the people of a Belgium. Wear your hair long, babe, you can't go wrong. Star and a place it on your forehead. Say a few spells and baby there you go. Take a flat cat and slip it on your shoulder. And in the morning you'll know all you know. In the old days, wear a tall hat and a tattooed gown. Ride a white swan, that's the people people love a belting with your hair long, baby, can't go wrong.
Welcome back to part 2.
Well, he's back. He's back. Where did the time go? It was like
it
1 minute we were on, and JD was on, and then she was on, and it's just like, oh, okay. So, it's all going on.
Exactly. At the same time, you 147 episodes. When did that happen? I don't even know anymore.
I know. This is how many. Is this our 3rd year now, or some such? I suppose we should be able to work it out, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I think we just wrapped up like 3 complete years, maybe, or something. Maybe.
Well, 3 years solid would be 156. So not far off.
No.
Which is scary. Now, I wish we had some of our very, very first shows. It would be great. It would be great to just play one and just
no.
Let the listener see just how great we were back in the day. I mean, to be fair, I think we've always been great. But I think things may have improved a little bit. I really dearly wish we had a copy of the very, very first show that you and I were on together, the one where we met.
That was fun. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
That was like a Thursday afternoon, 4:00. It was just the most bizarre experience of my life, that, and but from that, all this sort of happened, which was kind of exciting.
Yeah, the cool thing is I can remember what do they call, like the greatest hits or moments or something like that. And I remember it was a big deal when we went to prime time and we had our because when we started we just did horror authors, and then we kind of evolved to we've had children's authors and science fiction, mystery, and you name it. I mean, even some of the genres that I never even knew were genres, we've had them on the show. So that's really cool.
I think that, I think it makes things interesting, and I think it's that we do that, rather than just be horror and dark and all the rest of it. Because I like to think we're an educational show in many ways.
We are. I miss
we
the
aim to teach people.
We have that.
Well, the problem with Fruit Fly Corner is, I mean, we sort of burn out. There's only so many fun facts. I need to pick another animal out, actually. Funny enough, one of my friends from England, no long story to tell over a beer. She was moaning about being plagued with hoverflies. I don't know if they have them here or what they call them here, or they probably call them fake wasps or something. But they do look like little fake wasps, and they mimic wasps as part of their defense strategy. Totally harmless. And so I started pointing this out. I said, well, the buzz about, but it could be that because you start looking for a nest as well, that they don't nest for a start, thicko. But they have good figure because both the adult flies and their larvae eat green fly, aphids, which is great. So it could be you've got an aphid problem. So think about that. Consider that before you go trying to swat these poor things. So they are beneficial. Plants, they do like marigolds. If you have a lot of marigolds, that attracts. Because that's the idea. But in England, if you have rose bushes, you plant marigolds around them. and that attracts the hoverflies, which keeps the aphids down. So there you go, fascinating gardening stroke entomology fact for our listeners there.
Yeah, speaking of, I think this would fall under the same thing here. We get these really creepy, fuzzy, caterpillar-y like things all in the house. And the other day it was like inside the toilet paper roll like thing, and they just totally creeped out. I know. I got up in I think yesterday I was in the bathroom, and out of the corner of my eye I saw something crawling, which that right there just freaks me out. And it was one of those caterpillar things, and you know, I could swear he was looking at me, and they're just they creep me out. And I'm like, why do they come into the house over and, you know, it's like the third one I've seen, and they're just so creepy. They're
probably looking for somewhere to pupate. You know, they finish feeding and they look for somewhere dark and quiet and peaceful. Obviously, the inside of a toilet roll tube.
Yeah, they're just creepy. I don't like them, and I think they should not be in the house. That's what I think.
They're definitely, you know, outdoor creatures, so they really need to be there, not in, I'd say. But hey, you know, you maybe put little signs up for them.
We'll try that. Yeah.
Well, you know what will happen? You put the little signs up saying, you know, no caterpillar soliciting. And what will happen is the Jehovah's Witness caterpillars are going to ignore that. And they're going to come in and ask if you want to talk about Jesus. So it may not work for all of them.
If they'd like a copy of the Watchtower or something. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we'd like to share some of the Bible with you, you know. And it's like, well, no, get off my doorstep. Seriously, don't do this. Just go away.
No.
I was going to say, I know you joined in. What was that? There was somebody on Facebook the other day moaning about something ridiculous. What was that? I wanted to mention that. What
somebody said
whining about?
Bless you. Somebody said bless you, and that's
okay. I shouldn't the lady's name now, so I couldn't name the air, but it was a lady, she posted on Facebook basically, because someone in the cashier at the supermarket said, "Have a day." Yeah.
It was no, it was bless you. It wasn't even God bless you. It was just bless you, and she said that was religious.
She went and complained to the manager, and it's like, lady. You know, it's like, to be fair, a while ago I was in Little Caesars, funny enough, because we got our pizzas, a lot of pizzas from there, far too many pizzas, and this lady was complaining that there wasn't, I think she'd counted them, wasn't enough slice of pepperoni on her pizza, and it looked fine to me, and I think, well, you know, how perfect is your life that is your complaint, that there's not quite enough slice of pepperoni on your pizza. It's like this lady, I mean, because somebody just said it, you know, people say to me, you know, have a blessed day, they say bless you if you sneeze or whatever. I don't go complaining. I don't go, you can't say that because I get offended. No. Just seriously, get a fucking life. You know, there's a bigger things in life on this planet going on right, and, you know, I'm not going to say Donald Trump, because that's fair. I mean, I pick on him every week, because he's a fat idiot. There's enough going on without picking on stupid shit like me. Really. And she got all arsey with me because I pulled her up on it and said, "Ouch, an unreasonable thing."
I saw that. Yeah. But you know what? To be honest, I don't think anybody sided with her with that post. Everybody was like, "Seriously, this is what you're complaining about?"
Somebody did. It was probably a mum or a sister, you know, and it's just like. It's just something. It's like, because I said, you know, when people say good day to you or goodbye, do you realise that good is derived from God? You know, and Merry Christmas and do you get offended and get upset with everyone? And seriously, maybe she needs to discover masturbation or something. But for goodness sake, take out your frustration elsewhere. Yeah. That's it. Go home and get your husband to service you occasionally. You know, then maybe you wouldn't be that uptight about somebody saying, have a blessed day. I mean, me, I'm probably the least godly person you will ever meet. I don't get offended by that crap. I don't get offended by that. I moved into my new house a few months ago, and the guy before, because we still get to his mail, was a Muslim, I'm guessing his name, and from the small page of the Quran taped the windows, which I have now removed. But I didn't all upset and go take pictures and post it on Facebook and complain to people. It's like, fine, so a bit annoyed about the sellotape marks on the window I had to get off, but there's that. But it's just like, if you're going to get offended, just pick something to get offended. Like, the President of the United States bragging about grabbing women's pussies. There's something to get offended by. Your president making an arse of himself. Your president picking wars with countries. Your president, every time he opens his mouth, being a national stroke international embarrassment. There's something to be offended about, not your cashier saying bless you.
Yeah, she actually went to the manager to try to, get this person in trouble, and was upset because the manager, wasn't going to do anything. And, when I first started reading it, I thought this has got to be a joke. There's got to be a punchline in here. And I'm just thinking that is one miserable person that's what you're going to pick to get upset about. I mean, wow. Maybe she just needs her medication upped or something. We don't know. We really don't know.
She needs something. She needs to get more of a life, really. But, I think we live in an age of people getting offended. In fact, there's a great kicking about saying that World War II, and there were boys of 19 storming the beaches of Normandy. 19, yeah? And this was 50, 60 years ago, yeah? And yet, 19-year-old boys in this day and age at college or university need a quiet room because words have offended them. And it puts things into perspective. When I say, in fact, funny enough, I'm on a rant now. A couple of days before the end of the semester, my daughter came home. She was upset, and she said, so I was actually on the phone to my insurance company, which is a whole other story, I have to say. I've since changed insurance companies because they were shit. So I'm on the phone, and he said, it's so-and-so's dad wants to talk to you. Fine, I'm on the phone. And he stood at the end of our sort of driveway for about 15 minutes while I shouted at the insurance company. And I came out, so I was pretty pissed as it was. And he said, your daughter said this to my daughter on the bus. Right, okay, has anybody been hurt? Has she hit anybody? Because my daughter, she has been known to hit people. No, has anybody been hurt? No. So why are you in my face? Why are you on my property moaning at me? Because my daughter says they're 10. For Christ's sake, let them sort it out. When I was 10, I would never... Oh, he said something to me. Seriously?
No.
Don't come and get up in my business because my daughter said something to you. And it turned out she said it in my ear. I don't care. Deal with it. Let the kids deal with it. I'm an adult. You're an adult. Not a problem. Yeah? It's the old, the sticks and stones law, They need to bring that back.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I do really fear for generations after us, and I. Oh,
there won't be many more after us. I can tell you, they will die out either through being offended or being stupid.
As weak as they're becoming, definitely. It's sad. It really is. I mean, people are offended. Every single thing makes somebody offended, and then people are afraid to say something, because they're going to get so what? They're just words. I mean that exactly. I don't know. It's sad. Mm-hmm.
People get I think that TV show offended me. Well, there's another there's another 500 channels to go on. Pick another one, pal. I think people like to be offended. It gives them something. I don't know. It gives them something, I guess. But
how dare somebody? Yeah, you know what? You know, and the Game of Thrones. I know you haven't watched it, but there was such an uproar over how they ended that in the last season, which is just freaking ridiculous. Because you know, it's like however many people are watching this show or like this show, I bet you every one of them had something different that they wanted to have.
Oh, yeah.
You can't please everybody. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why does Joe Blow over there think that he deserves, you know, a special ending just for him? You know, when Susie next door to him wanted something different. It's just so retarded.
Well, I think George Martin said himself, you know, I mean, you know, so go write your own then, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
You go write something and make the ending how you want it, because you can do that, you know. Clearly they can't, but anyway, how's this segue? Speaking of writers and writing, who's our next? It's so cheesy, it's unbelievable. Who is our next guest, Dexter?
Our next guest is contemporary romance author Kathleen Kelly.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah, you have to ask the question. We'll bring Kathleen. Kathleen, how are you?
Hello.
I must say, I mean, if you've been listening to Tirade, if any of that offended you, Xtina really couldn't care less.
Thanks.
I just like you sweat.
So, and of course, you're a contemporary romance. Xtina has to ask the question. So, Xtina, do ask the question.
So what time period is this? You know, you know what? We had an author on, and
she has asked that question. She really did ask once. She did.
Right in the description, it said contemporary romance, but for some reason, when I was reading the excerpt, it sounded kind of futuristic to me. So yeah, you know, and there's the little thing where, you know, I could have been a blonde very easily. So, you know, I go ahead and say contemporary romance author, and then a couple sentences later, I'm like, so what time is this set in? So, you know, James is never going to let me forget that.
And I will never let you forget that. But so, Kathleen, thank you so much for joining us. You're here to talk to us about your book, Savage Stalker. So, tell us a bit more about it.
Oh, Savage Stalker was the first in the series. It was released in December 2014, and I'm just about to drop book 7. So, yeah. So 7? Oh, my giddy aunt. Wow. Yes.
Wow,
yeah.
I'm impressed.
So book 8 will be out later in the year. It follows a rock princess. Her name is Katarina Saunders, and she meets the president of an MC, Dane Reynolds, of the Savage Angels. So it's sort of their story and the different MC members.
Wow, that's impressive. So is there going to be more after the 7, or is this the final one, or is it just going to keep going on?
Oh, you know, I said I was going to stop the series after book 8, because that's out later on this year too, but I don't know that I will. I think there's still a couple of novellas that I'll probably put out, so no, I don't think the series will end.
Wow, I mean, this obviously carries on from the conversation we had with JD. I mean, you obviously, for me, I just can't comprehend committing to such a lot. I mean, it's a lot of words. How do you not get bored with the characters?
It's funny, you know, it's like going back to an old friend, because I've written a couple of different books in between, and I actually haven't written the Savage Angel series in a little while, so when I sat down to write it, it was like just going home to an old friend. It was lovely.
Oh, cool.
You know, it's the same way for me with some of the series. You know, my very first, what they call, you know, in the romance community, my very first book boyfriend was Rourke from the J.D. Roberts' series In Death. I don't know if you know what that is, but that was my first, like, you know, I loved this series, and there were, I don't even know how many books there are in the series now. I think they're up to like 30 or something, but like every time I would start reading them, I would start reading them, and I'd get to book 10, 11, 12, and I'd have to stop for a little bit because I, you know, I was getting a little bored, but then when I came back to it, that's what it was like. It was like going back to like old friends. You're like, these are comfortable. I know these people, and let's see what they're going to do this time. I don't know. I do. I've talked to authors that write long series, and they will say that they're getting tired of this character or something. But then I think that if there's still more story to tell, it's not over with, because sometimes the characters themselves they just take over and they don't shut up. So it's like it's not even in your control anymore. You just have to keep writing them until they stop talking to you, I think.
I absolutely agree with that, because I love Lee Childs, like to read Lee Childs, but I know that the Jack Reacher series, I do that. I'll read it and then I'll go back to it later, and I don't know how many books he's up to. And just recently I've started reading Elena Alder, and I think I'm up to book 11 now of hers. So, it's like visiting old friends. It's good.
Yep. Now, in the tagline, Rock Princess meets MC President, Rock Princess, is that like rock and roll or something? Like, I'm not sure what that means. Is that what that is?
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes. Rock star, yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
They're in a band called The Grinders.
Awesome.
Say that again.
So this kind of like combines two of the like really awesome genres of like the rock and roll books and then the motorcycle club. How cool is that?
Well, and you're absolutely right. When I wrote the book in 2014, they were like the two of the biggest genres that year. So I just combined them.
That is so cool. Yeah. And any time we have an author who writes the MC books, are you a fan of the show Sons of Anarchy, or were you when it was out?
Actually, it's funny. I love Sons of Anarchy, but I stopped. If people haven't watched it, they're not going to know who I'm talking about. When Opie got killed in Sons of Anarchy, I stopped watching. I was very upset when Opie got killed.
When who did?
Say that again?
I'm trying to think.
Opie.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah.
Opie?
Yeah.
I think it was only like season 3.
Yep. It was like, I've seen, I'm actually, I think season 6, what do they only have 7, I think. I stopped, so I still have a little bit left to watch, but I was a huge fan, and I know that I had a friend of mine who belonged to a local motorcycle club, and I remember asking her one time, is it anything like Sons of Anarchy? And she was like, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. So, yeah. So, again, I don't
Mine are very much... Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say mine are very much fairy tale MC. Everybody's 6'6" and good looking, and no beer guts in sight. Yeah. And do they? I mean, is it? I mean, and I have read a few of the MC books. And they do. There's always these like outlaws. Is that like a thing that's just? Is that just something that's known? Is like the motorcycle club? They're these outlaws that do all these these horrible bad things. That's right.
But
they only kill bad people and do hurt.
Yeah.
They're basically good guys.
Exactly. They're just misunderstood.
If only real life was like that.
And with Sons of Anarchy, I have to say everybody was all into Jax. Everybody loved Jax, and he's pretty hot. He is pretty hot. But I was always a bigger fan of Tig. I don't know why. I just thought that he was so cool. He made me laugh, so I think that might be.
He was funny.
Yeah. Tig, he was. And very inappropriate, but that was his charm. Yeah, it was his charm. So.
Yeah. No, he was great. Yeah. But I think there's still life in the MC genre yet, simply because they did release the Mayan series, so there's still life there.
Yeah,
so as long as there's life in the genre, we'll keep going.
Mhm. And I was always a huge fan of like the rock and roll thing too. To be honest, the very first book I ever read that was like the romance rock and roll genre, just was it Carnage? I think it was Carnage by Leslie Jones. Is that who did that? And I have to say the ending killed me. I was like, oh, that's horrible. So it was a good book, but I mean, the ending just destroyed me. And I think it was a really long time before I was like, I don't want to read any more rock and roll books. You know?
I love Leslie, but I've never actually read any of her works.
It was good. I will say it was good. Just heartbreaking. And I am more of a happily ever after girl. You know, we can have some bad things happen, but you know, it make me smile, or even happy tears at the end is good. I don't want to be heartbroken. I don't.
No, I'm with you.
No.
Everybody wants a happy ever after. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Give me the fairy tale ending. So, well, I want to hear more of a Savage Stalker. Do you have a reading for us?
Do I have a lead, as in an excerpt?
Yeah, an excerpt. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Sorry, darling. A little bit of a one. I skipped to chapter 5. So I'm going to read from chapter 5 if that's okay.
Definitely.
And I guess just to set it up for you, she's actually gone back to the hometown where her mum used to live, and she's had an accident. She can't sing anymore, and this is from there. So here we go. Okay. I'm on the bridge looking down at the creek, absently feeling the wood of the handrail. The sounds of birds chirping relaxes me, and I feel like I'm being watched. Turning around, I see a man approach on the other side. He's huge, easily 6'6", and has muscles straining against his black T-shirt. He reminds me of Blair. He's ruggedly handsome, with dark hair brushing his collar and some stubble on his face. His eyes are amazing blue, and he has tattoos going down both arms. Before I can run for my life, he says, "You must be Miss Saunders' girl." I'm speechless. His voice hits me. It's gravelly, with an authoritative edge to it, and I like it. "I'm Dane Reynolds. You are Miss Saunders' girl, aren't you? Because if you're not, you're on private land, and neither I nor the owner of the next property will appreciate you being here, darling." What? My brain doesn't seem to be functioning properly. "Darling, you're on private land," he repeats. Now he looks annoyed. Advancing towards me, I feel like a deer caught in the headlights. How can such a large man have so much grace? "I'm Kat," I say, and my voice sounds all breathy, and it's not because of my run. He stops and says, "Are you Miss Saunders' girl?" He looks amused, as though I've said something or done something funny. "Yes, she was my ma. Is this your land?" I can't believe I let a complete stranger affect me so much. I've had fans grovel at my feet. Men are offering to leave their wives. Hell, wives offering to leave their husbands. What the hell is wrong with me? "I'm sorry for your loss. She was a good woman. I was here when she passed, and I know it doesn't help, but it was quick. I called the ambulance, but she was gone. Paramedics said it was a heart attack." "Sorry, you were there? It was quick? Paramedics?" My voice gets louder with every question, and I can feel my throat closing while tears form in my eyes. "Christ, darling, you didn't know." His voice is soft and tender, slightly above a whisper. I shake my head with my hands held out in front of me as though I can stop the pain or him from saying anything else. Dave moves closer to me. He's dressed in jeans, black T-shirt and kick-ass black boots. It's not exactly hiking or jogging gear. "She was real proud of you. She talks about you all the time," Dane says, and at that I completely lose it. I find myself wrapped in his hulking frame. I vaguely notice that he smells like spice and musk, and he feels so good. All muscle and all man. "Shh, darling, I didn't mean to upset you. All I wanted you to know was she went quickly and peacefully." And is that enough?
Man,
Hello?
you know, it is. I know. They keep cutting this off like before we're ready. And that was. And you read it really good too.
Oh, really? Oh, Lord.
Yeah, you did.
I was there. I was kind of attracted to him actually in a strange sort of way.
Thank you.
So I'm confused. Right. I'm confused.
You know, what I liked about it was, yeah, that she, you know, I a lot of times, especially with the MC books, you know, I see that the woman, the female, as, you know, she's this, you know, virginal, sweet, innocent thing,
God.
and yes, and your character, she's the strong, you know, she's like, I've had men, you know, want to leave their wives for me, and they're like, yes, girl, you go, because I have to,
yes, she's,
you know, I have to, when the like, what was that, 50 Shades of Grey, and everybody was all, you know, they were singing the praises of E.L. James, which I have to say I read the books, and, you know, I didn't hate them or whatever, but you know, Anna in the beginning was just such a freaking mouse, you know. She really was, and I want a strong woman. I think that's why I enjoyed the movies a little better than the actual books, is because they kind of painted her in a little different light. I got, you know.
I think they had to in the movies, otherwise the whole thing would have been a little bit rapey. I think if they hadn't. If they just he dominated her, but not in a good way, and. You've been on the 50 Shades kick again now, and you know better, Xtina. You know better than that.
I do. I do. But, you know, every time I do bring her up, Go ahead, Cindy.
Yeah, I was going to say, people love the 50 Shades of Grey books and movies, and I have to confess, I actually didn't even finish the first book. I have them all, but I've never actually managed to get through the first one. So, and I've met E.L. James. She's lovely, lovely, lovely. Bought me a drink and everything. She's lovely. But, yeah.
As much as we talk about on the show, and James will get going on a really bad kick, I have to say, I did read the whole series, and I guess I can say I enjoyed it. I mean, there definitely were, you know, some choice phrases, you know, words that I would have, I cringed, but at the same time, you know, and then when I started the books, I've said this over and over again, I knew that it was Twilight fan fiction. I knew that going into it. So, but that's all I knew. So it's about halfway through the book where I was like, why isn't he, you know, biting her? I thought they were vampires. So, you know, that's my funny story. I know. It took me a while to realize that, you know, there was no vampires and it was just the, you know, the BDSM thing. And I'm thinking that, you know, to me, just a little, you know, the fact that he wanted to, like, you know, spank her or whatever, I'm thinking, that's not BDSM, is it? I mean,
I still don't understand how it's fan fiction of Twilight. It's nothing to do with it.
Oh my gosh! If you compare the characters. Oh my gosh, seriously, when I was reading the books and I'm going, okay, well, you know, that's I can't even think of their real names now in Twilight. But I'm thinking, you know, that's Bella, and that, you know, I'm naming everybody. I mean, even as far as, you know, Bella's parents goes, you know, it's just there's a correlation, and so the best friend, you know, being ethnic, and the whole thing is just like, you know, she just wrote down different you know, names for everybody, and it wasn't a vampires BDSM, but everything else to me, you know, I thought anyway. I mean, I was the whole time was comparing it, but you know, I did like it, and go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I actually loved the Twilight books, and I read all of them, but I couldn't read 50 Shades of Grey. So I'm not sure what that says about me.
I loved the, you know, and I think that one of the reasons that I was like wanted the 50 Shades, because it was so taboo, and like nobody would actually say why. And I think that's why I wanted to read it. You know, I'd heard so much hype about it, and oh my gosh, everybody was talking about it. You know, the cover really doesn't give it away too much, and so I was like, what is going on in this book? And I have to read it. But I was a huge Twilight fan too. I loved the books, and I think the only thing for me that the Twilight that they lacked was the sex. You know, there was so much you know, sexual tension between Bella and Edward that you're just like, oh my God, would you just, you know, rip her clothes off? No, but I did get the fact that, you know, it
was for kiddies. It was for the kiddies, remember?
Yeah, it was, but at the same time, you know, do you remember what you were doing at 17 years old? Because I remember.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
I remember sort of bits of it, to be honest with you, but not everything. And I tell you something, we've said that, isn't it? It's a good job they didn't have cell phones with cameras and social media back in those days. Oh my goodness me! Oh my! I would have been. Yeah, I shudder to think about it.
So, were you a 50 Shades fan, James?
Me, no. No,
yes,
surprisingly.
No, Twilight.
To be fair, I actually managed to plow through the first book because I you know, it was a bestseller, and it was more research really, and it was tough going to get to the I almost gave up. I thought, no, I'm going to get to the end of this, and I found the end disappointing anyway. But the whole thing was just it was badly written. The story it misrepresented the BDSM community. It was just bad. Twilight. I've actually kissed my young daughter. I've seen all the Twilight movies, and I enjoyed them. I have to say they were great. Yeah. I just can't relate the two at all. I just don't see where that came from. To be honest.
That's okay.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. And I just finished the Twilight saga movies. It took a while, but when we got to the last what was it, Breaking Dawn? Breaking Dawn? That was it, part 1 and 2. I was so excited because to me, when Bella comes into, when she becomes a vampire, she is badass. She really is. Like throughout the whole series, she again was kind of mouthy and kind of awkward and everything, and then she totally just kicks ass. That's like awesome. So I really liked what they did with it. I was a big fan.
Yeah. I know. I hate to. Sorry. Other time, it went by way too quickly. But you have to promise to come back, and we'll do like a whole show, the whole thing. That'd be lovely. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much, James, for swearing.
Hey, you're more than welcome. I'm here every week to swear. So if you want to tune in next week for more foul language, not a problem.
Absolutely. It's been great. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, Kath. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good whatever's left of your evening.
You too. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye. And I'm afraid it's time when we have to say goodnight, Xtina.
Good night, Xtina.
Love you like I don't know why I love you, don't know why I care. I just want your love to share. I wonder why I love you like I do. Is it because I think you love me too? I wonder why I love you like I do, like I do. I told my friends that we would never part. They often said that you would break my heart. I wonder why they think that we will part. We will part. When you're with me,